All right, guys, this is an Axios. Scoop. Senate eyes changes to gay marriage bill. Oh, you guys are going to like this story. So we covered this the other day. The gay marriage bill passed the House, but there were 157 Republicans who voted against it. They voted against gay marriage in the year 2022. Okay, listen to this. This is incredible. Senators are working behind the scenes on changes to a House-passed bill codifying marriage equality to get it across the finish line, Axios has learned. The legislation has been mired in uncertainty since landing in the upper chamber with just a handful of GOP senators openly stating they plan to vote for the bill, short of the 10 needed to break a filibuster. All right, look at that. They can't even get the 10 they need to break a filibuster. They can't even, and some of them are even backing off previous comments that were in support of gay marriage. This is incredible. Most Republicans have withheld how they plan to vote, and frustrations over Democrats steaming ahead on a major reconciliation package now threaten to boil over into other bipartisan legislation. So do you understand that? They're saying, oh, we're against the fact that you might pass a separate bill with 51 votes, so why don't we just tank equal rights for gay people? God, there's no bottom to this barrel. But look, they're giving the Democrats a lot of ammunition moving forward, because this is as extremist as it gets. Imagine somebody tried to tank interracial marriage over a separate issue involving the economy or whatever, over a separate bill. Well, then I don't think black and white people should be able to get married because I'm throwing a tantrum. It's so deeply immoral. Even Senator Ron Johnson, who appeared to voice support for the bill last month, suggested in an interview with Axios that he's not a firm yes vote. Quote, I've never said I would support it. I said I didn't see a reason to oppose it. Ah, I see. Depends on what the definition of the word is. Senator Tammy Baldwin is working with fellow bill sponsor Senator Susan Collins to build more support with Republicans, Baldwin's office told Axios. Specifically, they are discussing providing more clarity that the legislation would not take away any religious liberty or conscience protections. The whole point of this bill, just so everybody understands, is to say, let what the law is right now with gay marriage, how it's being interpreted as a right under the Constitution because of the Obergefell case that went through the Supreme Court. Let's leave it exactly like it is right now. That's what this bill does. And Republicans are like, I don't know. I got some questions on how this will impact religion. It will impact religion the same way it's impacting it right now, which is not at all. You want to, in your own personal life, say, I'm against gay marriage. That's totally fine. But that doesn't mean gay people shouldn't have the right to get married, that it shouldn't be codified into law, that they shouldn't have equal protection under the law. They're saying, this is too straightforward a bill to just say we're going to have gay marriage and keep the law the same as it is right now. Why don't we put in some language about religious liberty and conscience protections? In other words, what they might be trying to do is to change the law to make it more regressive, more primitive, more draconian, and say, hey, churches and religious people should be allowed to object, should be allowed to not marry gay people because it's against their personal beliefs or whatever. So in other words, you might have to go directly to the government in order to get, your marriage approved. Maybe there wouldn't be private ceremonies that are religious in nature, even though there are gay people who are religious and might want to have a private religious ceremony. The bill is straightforward. The bill is simple. The bill's a no-brainer. And they're like, no, let's put stuff in about religion because something religious conscience. Well, if your religious conscience is taking away people's equal rights, then fuck your religious conscience because it's wrong. All right. A Senate aide close to the talks told Axios the changes would affirm the intent of the bill, which is to maintain the status quo for the recognition of same-sex marriages. Republican senators and aides told Axios a conference-wide discussion is underway about either proposing new language to the bill or pushing for a vote on an amendment. Quote, we want to make sure that there's no infringement on your individual right or any entity's individual right to express their own beliefs from a religious standpoint. So yes, we're so concerned about individual rights that we want to take away the main individual right for gay people, which is the right to get married. Aren't I such a crusader for individual rights? Senator Mitt Romney, a key undecided vote, told Axios he's looking at protections for religion as he mulls whether to vote for the bill. Senate aides cautioned that the discussions are in the preliminary stages. The bill is not expected to be considered until after the August recess, as the Senate spends the next week focused on Democrats' reconciliation package and other legislation. Senator Lisa Murkowski, a key vote on the measure, told Axios, I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about the things that we're going to be doing this week. Whether there is still enough precious Senate floor time to get this done. Once you get into September, you've got to fund the government and you've got a bunch of other fiscal year-end issues you got to deal with. look, they go on. You get the gist of it. The real concern here is they don't want to piss off their super religious base. They don't want to piss off the evangelical Christians, which is a solid chunk of their base. So they're refusing to do the obviously correct thing. And they're balking. And they're pumping the brakes on moving this forward. And because they don't want to go on the record as being pro-gay marriage, because then they might lose some votes, even though it's still the overwhelming majority of the country supports gay marriage. It's over 70% now. Even more than half of Republicans support it. But the ones that are most active are the part of the base that are against it. So they're like, oh, I'm in a pickle here. Do I do the obviously morally and ethically correct thing? Or am I a total coward and do I go on the record as against equal rights? Or amend the rights to make it different? You know, theoretically, they could come out of this saying, we're not for gay marriage, we're for civil unions, which is you get all the same legal protections as marriage, but you can't call it marriage. That might be where this ends up. Because they are incredibly regressive, as you all know. And we've seen this recently, time and time again. 195 voting against a right to contraception. 157 voting against gay marriage. Anti-abortion bills popping up in states where they say, not even to save the life of the mother. This is what we're dealing with here. And they're showing their true colors. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.